What's up, everyone? Rich from Rich TCG Bets. Yes, I changed my name because I am not strictly just Pokemon anymore, but I wanted to go over the hit rates of Disney Lorcana, as well as kind of just compare it to Pokemon and talk about the different rarities inside of Disney Lorcana, just because I feel like a lot of people are not as familiar with it as they are with Pokemon. And I think this is a very good informative video. There's not too many videos out there, or at least updated videos that do this. And so when I was trying to get into the hobby, I was kind of confused. So now here's this video that hopefully you can reference, and hopefully my data isn't incorrect. I scoured the internet, looked at a ton of Reddit posts, a bunch of different articles and stuff like that, and kind of tweaked the numbers a little bit, took averages from everything I saw, but just so that everything can line up. Like, let's say you get 24 packs in a Lorcana booster box, 24 packs with 12 cards each. That math, I'm doing it as I speak. 24 times 12 is 276. That way everything adds to 276 for the most part. Like, there's gonna be some rounding errors, but I wanted to make sure like it was true to that number. But yeah, let's just go ahead and dive in. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. What are you doing? But yeah, so just like with Pokemon, Disney Lorcana has multiple rarities. They have common and uncommon. These are ones that you're guaranteed in every single pack. You'll see them a lot more often. Doesn't mean they're not good cards. A lot of them are playable. But if you are like interested on the investing money side of it, just a regular common and uncommon really isn't going to get you much, just because they're so vastly available. There's cold foiling, which is like reverse holos. I'm not going to include that in my data analysis just because it's super hard to do that. So, so this is going to be the data without all that information. So I guess we won't get to that perfect 276 number because of that. Then you have rares. So this is just kind of like the step above, similar to Pokemon. Like the third tier is rare, denoted by that cool triangle symbol. These are basically in every single pack. Like you can see, we'll go over the fractions in a little bit, but yeah, they're basically in every single pack. Then the next highest rarity is super rare, so less common. You'll still see them quite a bit, but they are less common. And the top two tiers are legendary and enchanted. Legendary are some of the more difficult cards to pull. You are guaranteed several in every booster box, which is really nice because some of these legendaries are incredibly playable. So you have like Maui Half Shark, you have Rapunzel, you have Tamatoa Happy as a Clam. And so you have a lot of very playable legendaries. And then enchanted are just not only some very playable cards, but just the best art in Lorcana right now. And so we're gonna have some different tiers in future sets, but as far as it is in May 2025, these are the highest tiers. So they're very difficult to pull. You can compare them to like a special illustration rare in Pokemon world. But yeah, let's go over their pull rates. And so, like I said, commons and uncommons come in every pack. So like you get 6 commons, 3 uncommons. Rarities, you get about 1.4 in every pack, meaning like you can get 1 to 2 in every pack. So like if you open 2 packs, you're probably getting 3 rares on average. Super rares, 5 and 12. Legendaries, 1 and 6. And so this is where you see the number like drop quite a bit. That 42% chance to pull a super rare when opening a pack drops all the way to 17%, which is pretty crazy. And then enchanteds are about a 1%. So when we take a look at this in a case and a booster box, again, a Lorcana case comes with 4 booster boxes. Each booster box comes with 24 packs. So different than Pokemon. If you're opening a case, you're basically guaranteeing yourself an enchanted, which is pretty cool because I know there's some cases in Pokemon, especially in like the Sword and Shield era, maybe even Sun and Moon, where like you might not get the highest tier available. But you're basically guaranteed that with Lorcana. I'll caveat, these are averages. I've heard of people opening a case and not getting any. I've heard of people opening a case and getting 2 enchanteds. But again, that sample size of 96 for a case is small in the grand scheme of things. You'd have to open 1,000 packs. And if you open 1,000 packs, like on average, 1 in 96 or 1 in every booster box case, you are gonna get an enchanted, which is pretty cool. Especially like cases, the boxes are about like $100 right now. MSRP is $143, but they're below market for the most part for these sets. And so you can spend just 400 bucks and basically guarantee yourself an enchanted. If we take a look at a booster box level, we're gonna just skip the commons, uncommons. Again, like you get 34 rares, which is pretty cool. Like you basically get one of every rare. Super rares, you get 10. Legendaries, you get 4, maybe sometimes a little bit closer to the 4 to 5 range on average, but I wanted to just scale it down a little bit for expectations. I've opened about like 7 or 8 booster boxes. I've gotten 3 a few times. I've gotten 5 a lot of times. One time I got 7, which was absolutely crazy. But on average, it is about 4. And then enchanteds, like I said, if you just do the math, if you get 1 a case, you're gonna get 0.25 per booster box. Now again, I wanted to compare this with Pokemon to see how it is. So we go ahead and take a look at Pokemon. The rarities are pretty much the same: common, uncommon, rare. You have double rare, which is like your EX cards if you're familiar with Pokemon. Illustration rares, which are amazing arts. If I was comparing to Lorcana, I would say illustration rares are pretty similar to like in between like super rares and legendaries. Ultra rares, you have 1 in 15. Again, like you don't really have anything like that in Lorcana, but special illustration rares are going to be very similar to like enchanted. So 1 in 86 for Pokemon versus 1 in 96 for Disney Lorcana. So you do have a slightly better chance of pulling a special illustration rare when opening a booster box. But you also have to remember, when you open a booster box, you're getting 36 packs for Pokemon versus 24 for Lorcana. And so naturally the odds are going to be a lot easier. But you can just tell by the hit rates, 1 in 86 versus 1 in 96. You can do the math yourself. It is slightly easier to pull a special illustration rare. And with the hyper rares, they're, I don't want to say near impossible, but they're super difficult to pull. 1 in 137. You're gonna have the same chances of pulling them in a booster box as you do as enchanteds. But again, that is due to the fact that there are 12 more packs in a booster box in Pokemon versus Lorcana. So 1 in 137 is a lot worse than 1 in 96, about a 0.7% chance. And so what do all these pull rates mean? Well, at the end of the day, it goes to show that you are given less packs with Lorcana, but the pull rates are about the same or maybe even slightly better with Disney Lorcana. I'm gonna have another video that goes over kind of just like the price average per set when you open a booster box, kind of what is the cost average for Pokemon versus Lorcana. I'm gonna do it just on Lorcana just because right now Pokemon prices are out of control, and so Lorcana is gonna look way better. But because of the odds of Lorcana aren't like too bad, you, spoiler alert, actually get a pretty good return on your booster box, assuming that the booster box itself is 1, at a good price, and 2, has some like pretty playable cards in there. But again, the purpose of this video for me was to just get the pull rates out there and explain them to you all. Hopefully this made sense. Like I said, I scoured the internet for probably like an hour trying to find different pull rates and kind of took the averages and went off like my experience. Again, I've only opened like 7 or 8. So that sample size is pretty low, still like 150-ish or whatever. But it's not terribly small, you know, n is greater than 30, and this is a school world, right? But yeah, hopefully you all appreciate this video. And until next time, I'm Rich from Rich TCG Bets, not Pokebets. Catch you all in the next video.